All right, diecast enthusiasts, Nissan enthusiasts, JDM enthusiasts. This is a video that I think a lot of you might like. This is going to be an overview of detailed premium Nissan Skyline castings. Let's see here. We have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 23. So we have 34 castings. None of these are Hot Wheels. Might do a Hot Wheels video another time. But let's just start because this might take a while. We'll just get right into it here. This is an R32 from Tomica. This is a basic Tomica. This is from the Initial D. Really nice detail. You do have lensed headlights, painted brake lights. I mean, it's a lot more detailed than a mainline Hot Wheel. It's also quite a bit heavier. The wheels are definitely nicer. It is metal on plastic base, but there's a lot more metal in this casting than in your typical Hot Wheels car. And you can feel the difference when you pick it up because it's noticeably heavier than the Hot Wheels R32. So really nice piece. These cars range you, somewhere between $5 and $10. So the next step up from that would be the Tomica Premium. Now the Tomica base R32 has opening doors, as does this R34 from Tomica Premium. This is the Nismo R34, an awesome piece. Again, you have lensed headlights and painted tail lights. Really nice detail with Tomica. Also from that same series, Tomica Premium. There are a couple Skylines from that I'm missing, so I will be picking those up at some point, but I like this one a lot more. I think the blue color and the combination of this blue color with these smoke wheels just looks really nice. So, and I think this is also an R34 GTR V-Spec. Really nice Skyline. So those are your Tomica base and premium. And then these next two are going to be Tomica Limited. So that is not to be confused with Tomica Limited Vintage. These cars were pre-TLV. I think. Not positive, but I'm pretty sure these were around before TLV. These are, I want to say, at least 10 years old. But here we have a Prince Skyline. A really good detail. No lensed detail, but all painted. And you do get opening doors. These ones, unlike the Tomica Premium and Base, the Tomica Limited does have rubber tires with tread. But really nice detail. This is your Prince Skyline. And then the other Tomica Limited Skyline that I have is a Japan Skyline. Also has rubber tires with tread. This is a Skyline 2000 Turbo GT. And this is one of my favorite generations of Skyline, the Japan Skyline. I also do like the Ken Mary a lot. I liked all of them though. My least favorite would be the Prince, just because of how early it was. And then this one here, just to get it out of the way, this is probably the most common, maybe easiest to find of all of these on the table. And this is Johnny Lightning. The casting itself looks pretty good. I think the proportions and the lines look pretty decent. Where this car loses me is with the stance. Look at how awful that is. And this is Johnny Lightning too. I'm just not impressed. I'm actually quite disappointed. And then over here, not so bad. It is metal on metal, rubber tires with tread. This is from Fast and Furious. It's all painted detail, no lens detail. Johnny Lightning doesn't do insert lenses for headlights or taillights. You know, I don't know. I'm disappointed in this piece. And this is an expensive one to get, too. I got lucky and found it at a trade show for $5, but on eBay, I think it's like a $30 or $40 car. So anyways, that's the only one on the table that is an American brand. All the rest of these are import brands. So Tomica, Aoshima, Kyosho, and then there's a few other oddball stuff. I have some Konamis. I'll start with this oddball casting here. It's a very, very, very well done car. The name of the brand escapes me. Let me see if it's on the base. It is not. So the brand escapes me, but whatever brand it is, I know this is the brand that was doing candy. And then like Topps with baseball cards, Topps was a bubblegum company. And they just made the cards to sell the gum. And then what happened was the popularity of the cards overtook the popularity of the gum, so they became a baseball card company. This is kind of the same deal. One thing about this car that might surprise you is that this is all plastic. So it weighs virtually nothing. I could literally crush it right now in my hands, but obviously I won't, because it's actually, I think, one of the nicer Skyline castings that I have. Some really nice detail, and it's just totally shocking when you learn that this is a plastic casting. It does have an opening hood. I only have 2 Skylines that have opening hoods, and this is one of them. So, as I said, the name of the brand escapes me, but a tip of the hat to the brand, because they really did a nice job with this car. It really does look good. And when it's on display amongst all these other premium detailed Skylines, you can't even tell that it's plastic. You can't tell that it's plastic anyways until you pick it up. Another odd brand is this one. This one does have the name on the base. It's Tatcar. And they did a few, I don't know, I think a handful of Skylines. But what they're really known for is having opening hoods. So there aren't a lot of brands, premium diecast brands, that do this import stuff that have opening hoods. So it's I was looking on eBay. There's I think it's either an R32 or an R34. Really nice looking, very highly detailed, and it has an opening hood. So pretty cool. I think the detail is a little sloppy on it when you compare it to the Konami, which I will do next here, because I have basically that same car made by Konami, same color and everything, and you can see right off the bat how much nicer just the quality of work is on the Konami. The Konami features prototypical wheels, so these are factory hubcaps. You do get with Konami, you do get the lensed insert headlights. Really nice grille, nice detail. The wheels just look really good, and it is rubber tires and tread, plastic base, and then your brake lights are painted. But I personally would pass on the opening hood. in exchange for, you know, a nicer, more accurate looking, a little bit more detail car like the Konami. And this one does have the sprung suspension. So that is your Konami, which I also have in an alternate color. I don't know much about these. I'm really just getting into them. I think I probably have maybe 25 or maybe 30 Konami castings. So I'm not sure if it's like Kyosho, where the casting will have 2 or 3 different color variations. But obviously they have more than one because this is the same casting, just a different color. So that is another Konami Prince Skyline. While we're on Konami, I'll show you this. This is also Konami from 2003, and this is your Yokosuka Skyline. There is a little bit of a bumper issue. It looks like it got rear-ended, but it's not too bad. And overall, I would say this is a pretty nice Skyline. Doesn't really compare with the Kyosho or the TLV, but it's nice. You know, it's definitely more detailed and nicer than what the Hot Wheels would be. The last Konami is this 1980. What is it? A 2000 GT. The base is kind of hard to read, but Nissan Skyline 2000 Turbo GT. Anyways, Kyosho did this same car. I just showed that in my last video. If you wanted to see them side by side, I think the Kyosho is nicer. But the Konami is still very nice. I mean, they almost look like twins. You can see the Konami has chrome trim. The Kyosho has the black. So there are subtle differences. I think the quality of the paint is better on the Kyosho. But the wheels, both wheels look really good. I might even give the edge to the Konami on the wheels. I don't know. They're both really well done. The back end looks really good on both. I mean, it's just tough. It's hard to say. I think I would prefer the Kyosho, but both are very nice. So that is the last Konami Skyline in my collection. Only got 4 of those. This next brand is a plastic model kit company called Aoshima. And the base on these is real simple. Plastic, very little detail. It doesn't say, all it says is Aoshima, made in China. This is a 4-door, I believe, Japan Skyline. Now the thing about Aoshima is that they do these cars all like modified, so they have body kits and they're lowered and, you know, flared fenders and front spoilers, just cool stuff like that that really no other brand really does that except Hot Wheels. There's certainly, I don't think, any premium brand doing modified cars, even counting the American brands like Auto World and Johnny Lightning and Greenlight and M2. I don't think any of those brands really do modified castings. So another Aoshima. This is a Yokosuka Skyline. So the detail on the Aoshima is not quite as nice, but they're still pretty cool little cars. And you do get lensed headlights. and tail lights. You get rubber tires with tread. So those are your other Aoshima. And then the last Aoshima is the Ken Mary, which has great lines on it. I think they did a really nice job with the body. Not a big fan of this look though, and there's a name for this look. It's really big in Japan from like modifying cars. But I think this is pretty nice. I'd prefer the Kyosho Ken Mary with the more stock look personally. So those are 3 by Aoshima. These next 2 is another off-brand, not even a die-cast brand, really. The company, here, just to show you how basic this is, the base isn't even marked, but you do have rubber tires, in this case, slicks. It's a coffee company called UCC Coffee, and it's available in Japan and I think maybe other parts of Asia. But they put out these die-cast cars to sell their coffee, I guess. And I have to say, it's really a nice little die-cast car. You do have lensed insert headlights. Your turn indicators are all detailed. The wheels look great. I mean, to me, those look prototypical. You have your side indicators. Lens, tampoed and lensed brake lights. So the lens is actually, I don't know if that's a tampo or a sticker, but it's pretty well detailed. So you have your GTS-R Nissan Skyline. Even your exhaust is painted. So one thing about these, one thing they do to cut costs, they don't have interiors, but the windows are tinted, so you can't really tell anyways. So that is UCC Coffee. And then the other UCC Coffee that I have is this. This is a Ken Mary GTR Skyline. It's a beautiful piece. I really like this one a lot. Kyosho did this car with this livery, and I really want to pick it up. It's a pretty expensive one to get. I think there's only one right now listed on eBay, and it's like 80 bucks or something like that. So it's not cheap, but I can only imagine how much nicer the Kyosho is than the UCC Coffee. This one, again, you have rubber tires, but they are slicks. Really nice wheels, though. Really nice detail. Painted brake lights. But I have a couple of Kyosho Ken Mary castings, and like I said, when you know how nice the Kyosho casting is of this car, you can only imagine how nice it would be in this livery. So it is a piece that I really want to pick up at some point. If I ever find it at the right price or the right time, I will grab it. And with that, there's only 2 brands left. So while we're talking about Kyosho Ken Mary Skylines, I'll get right into it with a Kyosho Ken Mary Skyline. So you can just see how much nicer the detail is in the Kyosho from the UCC Coffee. The brake lights are lensed, they're not painted. All the trim, is a totally separate piece. There's probably actually a couple different pieces there that make up that back end with the chrome, and then I don't even know what the word would be. It's like a faceplate or whatever. Then you got your lensed brake lights. So there's probably at least 2 or 3 different pieces that make that up, not counting the light lenses themselves. But awesome details. You got your Skyline GTR tampoed on there. Indicators. The wheels and tires on these Kyoshos are pretty amazing. Very well done for the scale. And these are rubber tires with tread. The base on the Kyosho is quite a bit more detailed. GTR. So this is from the Mechanical Doctor set. Very cool set. It's a 6-car set, but 6 of the nicest cars Kyosho's put out, in my opinion. That set's a must-have for people that collect this type of diecast. And then here on the front end, you can see all the detail here. It's a pretty significant step up from the UCC coffee, in my opinion. And this Ken Mary isn't nearly as detailed as this one here, which was a Carnell release made by Kyosho. And this is probably the most detailed car that I have in this scale. I mean, the only thing that's really going to compete with it is the Tomica Limited Vintage. Just a ton of detail. And a ton of realism. The wheels look... I mean, I don't think you can make them look any better. The tires look really nice. Nice tread. Painted exhaust. The front end just looks great. Your side view mirrors look great. And if you look, they actually is, or they are painted. I don't know if, I mean, it almost looks like, it almost looks like they have little chromed inserts to simulate the mirror. But anyways, to get this casting with that green and gold number 73 livery, which is an actual racing livery. I don't know what the name of it is, but yeah, I definitely want that. And hopefully someday I'll have that. So cruising along from Kyosho, I guess now that we got the Ken Marys out of the way, we'll just start from the oldest, which would be the Hakusuka. This is your civilian model in orange, but look at these wheels. This is Kyosho's version of the Steely. I mean, you compare that with anything that Greenlight or M2 or Auto World has put out, it's as good or better. There's your tail light detail. I mean, these are just top shelf. You just can't get better. You can't get better detailed import diecast in this scale. That's just not out there. Kyosho is going to be the best. The only thing better is your Tomica Limited Vintage, but they don't do this casting yet. So that is your Hakusuka Skyline from Kyosho. I guess moving up, the next oldest would be back to this 1980 2000 GT. I like this casting quite a bit. I'm not going to show it too long because I showed it earlier in the video, but an awesome piece there. And then I think the next one would be this, which I don't know much about this one, but I think this is the Iron Mask Skyline. Let's see, a slight flaw there on the right tail light. It just didn't get set totally straight. And anytime you have insert headlights or tail lights, that is always going to be a potential issue. So, you know, even with TLV, you got to watch out for that. But other than that, this casting is quite amazing as well. With the red on black, the wheels and tires look totally awesome. And the side view mirrors, just the front end, everything about it looks totally great. And I think this is the same generation of Skyline as the plastic one here. I'm pretty sure these are the same pretty close to the same year. But the Kyosho, as nice as the plastic one is, the Kyosho's definitely nicer. In fact, with the Kyosho, I showed this in my last video. These are the Kyosho Skylines that have come out. So as far as castings go, I have this casting, I have this casting, I have this casting. So I have those 3 tools. I also have this one, this one, this one, this one, and this is the one that we just looked at here. So I have every tool here except for the prints, which would be this one here. And I'm not real sure what this one is. This might also be a Prince Skyline. But these are the 2 castings from Kyosho that I don't have, at least from this box. So a lot of awesome stuff. Now I only have 1 color. Well, I have 2 colors of the Kenmari, and I have 2 colors of the Hakusuka, which, by the way, I skipped one of those. Went from the orange one. I should have gone right to this. The orange one is your civilian model. This is your racing model. This is the same livery as the Hot Wheels car culture. But this is just much higher quality and a just much better detail. The graphics are so much more clear and legible, and it's just awesome. This is just an awesome piece. It's one of my favorite, not just one of my favorite Skylines, but since I've gotten into this whole JNC thing, this is one of my favorite pieces of all of it. So another great piece by Kyosho. There's your base. Base isn't nearly as detailed, but that's okay. I don't care about that. So as we work our way up in year, this would be the next one here. Kyosho 2000 GT SX. This was one of the very first Kyosho cars I bought out of the Toy Pimps cabinet at the Cubbyhole Collectibles. This is kind of what got it all started for me. And the detail is just so awesome that I got it home, and I just started looking at it, and I was like, wow, that's like Auto World quality or Greenlight quality, but it's a Nissan. And I just thought that was awesome. So that's how it all got started for me. So the next thing up from that would be both of these, which are both R33 Skylines. And I think one of the nicer ones Kyosho's done. They really smashed it with this casting. This casting has some sexy lines on it. Now, one casting I don't have is the R32. So the Kyosho R32 is definitely high on my list. I would like to get that. At least one variation of it. But the R33 looks great. That's the R33 in white. Here's the same casting in black. The black looks better, but in this scale, a lot of times the darker colors will drown out all the detail. But it definitely looks better in black. Very cool. R33 Skyline. So obviously we all know what came after the R33. It was the R34. This is another casting that Kyosho smashed. This particular color isn't the greatest. It looks good, but you know, with the taillights being red, it kind of hides a lot of the detail. And I'm not a big fan of red cars in this scale. Just to show you, here's the same casting, same exact casting with much better color. And I still haven't verified it, but I'm pretty sure this is the same color as the Anniversary GTR. Which I didn't bring the GTRs out because they're not technically Skylines. And I wanted this to be a Skyline video. But at some point I will bring out the TLV Anniversary Skyline, or Anniversary GTR, and I'll take a look at it next to this Kyosho just to compare the colors. But yeah, I think this color looks a lot better than the red, personally. And I think these wheels are quite a bit nicer than those other wheels. Here's a different... this is another GTR 34 Skyline. This is your Calsonic. So this is a wide body. I don't know what the proper term is, but it's a totally different tool altogether. You can see the the fenders are totally different, but the detail, now remember this is 1:64, but look at that detail. And those are not stickers. So that's the kind of stuff that Kyosho nails, and they just get it right. The graphics on their 1:64 scale cars are amazing. Some of the most clear, highest quality that you'll find. So, and it's a nice Skyline. I've got a Calsonic 350Z too. They both look really good. I think that's it for the Kyosho. Nope, we got one more here. This is a Skyline Coupe. Another beautiful casting. Basically the same car as the Infiniti. I forget which one it is, but not a GTR, but still a really nice Skyline. Very cool. I like the color on this too. I think, typically silver's not my first choice, but with that particular casting, silver might have been. It was my only choice when I got it, so I didn't have a choice, but if all three colors were there, I still very well may have gotten the silver one. Here are the three colors that you had to choose from: black, blue, and silver. So I don't know. I'd have to see them. The black ones always look good. I don't know. That would have been a tough choice, I'm sure. All right, so we're down to the last four, which are probably the highest quality four that I have, but they aren't. None of the four are the most popular Skylines that have come out. We'll start with this, which is I'm pretty sure this is a 1973 Nissan Skyline van. And it is a Nissan Skyline van. We, here in America, would recognize this more as a station wagon. Although technically it is classified as a van. But it is a killer piece. Must-have car for JDM collectors. It has come out in multiple color variations, few different livery variations, and with the Tomica limited vintage, you do get the metal on metal with the rubber tires with tread, prototypical wheels, sprung suspension, insert lens headlights and tail lights, And the best detail you will find in the 1:64 scale. The other thing too is these, like Auto World, are true to scale. Auto World and TLV are the only two brands that emphasize scale. So other brands like Greenlight are pretty close, but they don't make that claim like TLV and Auto World do. Probably my favorite TLV Skyline is this right here. Just an awesome, awesome car. And let me see if I have... I guess this would be your 1970. So probably, I think this is a Hakoska Skyline. But awesome. Just the wheels and tires look awesome. The headlights, the front end, the back end. TLV gets it right, and they get it right every time. So this right here is, it's a fun brand to collect, but it does get expensive. So I don't have a whole ton of the TLVs, but you know, then again, there aren't a whole lot of them out there. I think in hindsight, in the grand scheme of things, they may have 300, maybe 400. I don't know. I'll have to check on that. Which at $25 a piece, that's a lot. But when you consider Hot Wheels has probably over 100,000 different castings, that's really not that much. But the quality and the detail. See, the idea with these is you know, you set them down in a diorama environment like this, probably a more realistic looking diorama than mine. You could snap some pictures of it and it would totally look real. And I've seen some dioramas out there that totally look real. Mine is not one of them, but I get out of my diorama what I wanted to get out of it, so I'm happy with it, but it definitely doesn't look anything like some of these people that make dioramas for a living. Anyways, the wheels on this car, for as simple as they are, it's, you know, they have a very unique look. I really like this car. This is a Japan Skyline, and it's really not that awesome of a looking car, or awesome looking of a car, but for some reason I like it. I think it looks sweet. So, and then the last Skyline casting by TLV is this R34. I think it's an R34, yep. R34 four-door. Look at the tread on the tires. That is detail right there. That is an amazing looking car. Amazing. So I think I actually have all the Skyline castings from TLV. There might be one or two tools that I don't have. I'll have to check on that. But anyways, now that we're 40 minutes in, and I knew this would be a long video because there's a lot of cars to go over, and I know a lot of people aren't going to sit through this, so but I know some of you will, and I appreciate that. Not really sure. I know personally, if I was a fan of Skylines, I've watched I've watched plenty of diecast videos that are 40 minutes long. I have no problem doing it if I'm entertained. So if you're entertained, hopefully you stuck through it. And if you're not entertained, I don't blame you for turning it off. But a lot of really cool Nissan Skyline castings. And I now have a lot of Nissan Skyline castings to put away. But before I do that, I'm going to do a street view and just a quick once over. So there's your basic Tomica, Tomica Premium, Tomica Limited, Johnny Lightning, Tat Car. Don't know the brand on that one. Here's your Aoshima. Here is your Konami, which is a brand I'm just getting into, and I have to say I really dig Konami. They make some awesome stuff. And then all of this here is Kyosho. Kyosho is another amazing diecast brand. You know, if the JDM stuff isn't your thing, you should check out Kyosho's European stuff. They have Audis and Volkswagens and Ferraris and just amazing stuff. And a lot of it. So, Mercedes, Porsche. And here you have your UCC coffee. And there's your TLV. So, that is the overview of the 1:64 scale premium diecast Nissan Skylines. And I hope that you all enjoyed the video. I'm getting loopy, so probably time I go to bed. And I'll probably just throw these back in the display case tomorrow. So, anyways, leave your comments, ask your questions. Don't forget the small handful of you that always dislike the videos. Hit that thumbs down. And to everybody else, I will holler at the next video. Happy Friday. Take care.